Before I tell this story, I need to say something. I didn't believe in curses. I didn't believe in ghosts. And I definitely didn't believe places could remember the people who died there. But after what happened in Hollow Creek, I haven't slept properly in almost 2 years. And if you ever hear knocking coming from the woods at exactly 2:13 a.m., do not answer it, no matter who it sounds like. In 2024, I ran a small paranormal YouTube channel with 2 of my closest friends. Back then, we were desperate for views. We filmed abandoned hospitals, forgotten churches, supposedly haunted roads. Most of it was fake, or at least exaggerated. We used creepy music, jump cuts, fake thumbnails, the usual YouTube stuff. But then we got an email. No subject line, no signature, just one sentence. If you want something real, go to Hollow Creek before the town disappears again. Attached to the email was a grainy photograph, a road sign, half covered in fog. Hollow Creek population, 311, and written underneath in black spray paint, don't stay after 2:13. At first, we thought it was some ARG marketing thing, but when we searched for Hollow Creek online, almost nothing came up. No town website, no businesses, no recent photographs, only one newspaper clipping from 1997. 7 residents missing after power outage. That was it. The article ended abruptly. No follow-up, no explanation. And honestly, that mystery alone was enough to hook us. So 3 days later, me, Tyler, and Jess loaded our gear into Tyler's truck and drove 12 hours into the mountains of West Virginia. If I could go back, I would have deleted that email. Because some places are hidden for a reason, and the Hollow Creek didn't want visitors. The drive into Hollow Creek felt wrong, long before we reached the town. The GPS stopped working around midnight. Cell service vanished. Even the radio started spitting static. At first, Tyler joked about it. Classic horror movie setup, he laughed. Jess didn't. She sat in the back seat, staring out the window like she expected something to appear beside the truck. The deeper we drove into the mountains, the thicker the fog became. Eventually, the road narrowed into cracked pavement surrounded by endless woods. No houses, no lights, nothing. Then we saw the sign, Hollow Creek, exactly like the photo, except someone had scratched deep claw marks across the word creek. Tyler immediately grabbed his camera. Dude, this is perfect. That was the last time I ever heard genuine excitement in his voice. We entered town around 1:40 a.m. and the first thing we noticed was the silence. Not normal silence. No insects, no wind, no dogs barking, nothing. The town looked frozen in time. Old diners, rusting gas stations, storefronts with faded signs, but there were cars parked everywhere, as if people had just vanished. One truck still had groceries sitting in the back, rotting. A bicycle lay in the middle of the road, and every single clock we saw through the windows read the same exact time. 2:13. Jess noticed it first. Why are all the clocks stopped? None of us answered. Because deep down, we already knew something was wrong. Then Tyler spotted a motel. The Pine Rest Inn. The vacancy sign still flickered. Against our better judgment, we decided to stay there for the night. Big mistake. The lobby smelled like mildew and old cigarettes. There was no staff, no power except for a single emergency light glowing red behind the counter. But sitting there, waiting for us, was a room key, room 13, along with a handwritten note. You should leave before the knocking starts. Tyler laughed nervously. Okay, whoever set this up deserves an Oscar. Jess refused to touch the note. I should have listened to her. Instead, we went upstairs, and that's when we heard the first knock. 3 slow taps, coming from somewhere deep in the hallway. Knock, knock, knock. Then silence. Tyler called out, "Hello?" No response. Just another 3 knocks, closer this time. Knock, knock, knock. Jess whispered, "Did somebody follow us?" I don't know why, but suddenly every instinct in my body screamed at me to leave. Then the hallway lights flickered, and for 1 second, I saw someone standing at the far end of the corridor, tall, too tall, its head bent sideways against the ceiling. Then the lights died, and the knocking stopped. We locked ourselves inside room 13. Tyler tried joking again. That's definitely not creepy at all. But his hands were shaking. The room looked untouched since the 1980s. Wood-paneled walls, dust-covered furniture, an old tube television, and above one of the beds, there was a framed photograph. It showed the motel staff standing outside the building, except every face had been scratched out. Jess immediately wanted to leave. I agreed, but Tyler insisted we stay until morning. "We finally found something real," he said. That sentence still haunts me. Around 2:07 a.m., the television turned on by itself. Static filled the room. Then an emergency broadcast appeared. The footage looked ancient. A man wearing a sheriff's uniform stared into the camera. His face looked exhausted, terrified. "Attention residents of Hollow Creek," he said. "If you hear knocking after 2:13, do not answer your doors." Static interrupted him. Then his voice returned. "If you see someone you know outside, it is not them." The screen glitched violently, and for 1 frame, we saw dozens of pale faces pressed against the sheriff's office windows behind him, watching. Then the power died, pitch black and right on cue. Our motel room door rattled. 3 knocks, knock, knock, knock. Jess froze. A woman's voice whispered from the hallway, "Danny." My blood turned cold, because it sounded exactly like my mother. My mother died in 2018. Tyler stared at me. "Dude, that's not funny." Then the voice came again, soft, crying, "Please let me in." Jess started hyperventilating. The doorknob slowly turned, over and over, like something outside was patiently testing the lock. Then another voice spoke. Tyler's younger brother, who had drowned when Tyler was 16. "Tyler, it's cold out here." Tyler immediately backed away from the door, and then we heard dozens of footsteps outside, not running, dragging, as if an entire crowd was gathering in the hallway. Then came the knocking. Not one door, all the doors. The entire motel erupted with violent pounding. Bang, bang, bang. Voices screamed from outside, some crying, some begging, some laughing, and underneath all of it, we heard something else. A low, wet breathing sound, moving slowly down the hallway, toward our room. Jess started praying. Tyler kept filming, and I made the worst decision of my life. I looked through the peephole. At first, I only saw darkness. Then a face moved into view. Its skin looked stretched too tightly over its skull. Its mouth hung open unnaturally wide, and its eyes, God, its eyes looked human, almost bleeding. Then it smiled and whispered, "You opened it last time too." The hallway lights exploded. The creature slammed against the door, and we ran. We fled through the back stairs of the motel and sprinted into the street. Fog swallowed everything. I could barely see Tyler running ahead of me, but the sounds behind us kept getting closer. Dragging footsteps, wet breathing, knocking, always knocking. We reached the sheriff's office around 2:30 a.m. The front door was already open. Inside papers covered the floor. Every clock inside the building was stopped at 2:13. Jess found old case files scattered across a desk. Missing persons, disappearances, emergency reports, dozens of them, all ending the same way. Last seen after hearing knocking. Then Tyler discovered VHS tapes locked inside a cabinet, each one labeled with a date: 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985, every few years, like something kept returning. We found an old television and started watching the tapes. The first tape showed a deputy recording himself. He looked terrified. "Day 3, he whispered. "The town won't let us leave anymore." Outside the station windows, we saw figures moving through the fog, slowly circling the building. "They mimic voices now," the deputy continued. "They sound like family." The camera shook violently. "You cannot answer the knocking." Then another deputy screamed somewhere off-screen. The cameraman turned, and for 1 second, we saw a woman standing in the hallway. Except her arms were too long. Her smile reached her ears, and her jaw hung open like it was broken. The tape abruptly ended. Jess refused to watch the others. Tyler didn't. The next tape was worse. Body cam footage. A deputy investigating a farmhouse outside town. He keeps hearing someone crying inside. When he enters the basement, he finds dozens of people standing motionless in complete darkness, all facing the wall, not moving. Then every head slowly turns toward him at the same exact time. The deputy screams. The footage cuts. Tyler paused the tape. "Did you see that?" I didn't answer, because I had. One of the people facing the wall looked exactly like me. Then the power went out again, and somewhere upstairs, we heard a phone ringing. Jess whispered, "Please don't answer that." But Tyler already started walking toward it. The ringing echoed through the station, loud, persistent. Finally, he picked up. For several seconds, he said nothing. Then his face changed. All the color drained from it. "What do you mean Jess is dead?" Jess froze. "Tyler." "What?" Tyler slowly lowered the phone. "It's your mom." Jess started crying immediately because her mother had died 3 months earlier. Then Tyler whispered something I'll never forget. "She says you drowned here when you were 9. Every light inside the sheriff's office turned on at once, and standing outside the windows were dozens of people watching us, perfectly still. We barricaded ourselves inside the sheriff's office until sunrise. At least, we thought it was sunrise. The fog outside never changed. Time barely made sense anymore. Our phones stayed frozen at 2:13 a.m. Eventually, we found a map of Hollow Creek. One location had been circled repeatedly in red marker. St. Mercy Chapel, deep in the woods north of town. Underneath, someone had written, "It started here." Tyler wanted answers. Jess wanted to leave. I just wanted daylight. But the roads leading out of town no longer connected where they should. Every time we tried driving away, we somehow ended up back at the motel, like the town itself was trapping us. So against our better judgment, we followed the map. The woods around Hollow Creek felt wrong. Trees twisted unnaturally. Some trunks had human names carved into them. Others looked burned black from the inside. Then we found animal carcasses hanging from branches. Deer, coyotes, all skinned. Jess nearly vomited. That's when we heard singing, children singing, soft, distant, coming from deeper in the forest. Tyler aimed his flashlight ahead, and we finally saw the church, St. Mercy Chapel, or what was left of it. The building looked ancient. Its roof had collapsed decades earlier, yet candles still burned inside. Fresh candles. The singing stopped the moment we entered. Every pew inside the church faced backward, toward the entrance, as if the congregation had been watching the doors instead of the altar. Then Jess found old journals hidden beneath the floorboards. Most were written by the town pastor in the 1970s. At first they sounded normal. Community events, weddings, harvest festivals. Then the entries changed. The knocking returned tonight. The voices know our names now. Children keep disappearing after dark. The thing beneath Hollow Creek is awake. Tyler kept reading aloud while I searched the basement. That's where I found the symbols, hundreds of them, painted across the walls in black, circles, eyes, twisted human shapes, and in the center of the room, there was a massive wooden door built into the ground, covered in scratches. Something had tried to claw its way out. Then we heard movement upstairs, heavy footsteps, not human. Tyler whispered down the basement stairs, "Guys, we're not alone." The church bells suddenly rang, violently, over and over, and then we heard children laughing outside, dozens of them. Jess ran to the windows. There's nobody there. But the laughter kept getting louder, closer, until it surrounded the church. Then something began scratching underneath the basement door, slowly, patiently, and a voice whispered from beneath it, "You came back." We should have run immediately. Instead, Tyler started filming the basement door. That obsession with footage, it got him killed. The scratching beneath the door became pounding. The entire church shook. Jess screamed for us to leave. Then the basement lights flickered on. Even though there was no electricity, that's when we saw him. A man standing in the corner, perfectly still, wearing an old sheriff's uniform, except he had no eyes, just empty black sockets. Tyler nearly dropped the camera. The eyeless man slowly pointed toward the basement door, then spoke in a dry, cracking voice. "You opened it in 1981. None of us moved." The man tilted his head. "It learned your voices." Jess whispered, "What are you?" The man ignored her. Instead, he stared directly at me. "You keep coming back here." I felt cold all over. "What do you mean?" The man stepped closer. "I've seen you die 3 times already." Before I could respond, something slammed against the basement door hard enough to crack the wood. A long, pale hand pushed through the opening, its fingers bent backward unnaturally. Then another hand emerged, and another. Dozens of hands clawing upward. The eyeless sheriff suddenly screamed, "Don't let it see you." Every candle in the church exploded. Darkness swallowed the basement, and something started climbing the stairs, not walking, crawling, fast. We bolted from the church. Branches tore at our clothes as we sprinted through the woods. Behind us we heard laughing. Not children anymore. Something deeper, hungry. Then Tyler disappeared. 1 second he was beside me. The next, gone. Just silence. Jess screamed his name. No answer. Then his flashlight flickered on deep between the trees. We ran toward it and found Tyler standing motionless in a clearing, facing away from us. "Tyler." Slowly. He turned around, except something was wrong with his face. His smile stretched too wide, and his eyes looked empty. Then he spoke, only it wasn't Tyler's voice. "Why did you leave me downstairs?" The thing wearing Tyler's face lunged at us. Jess pulled me backward just in time, and for one horrifying moment, I saw its jaw unhinge, far beyond humanly possible. We ran blindly through the woods until we reached the road, but Tyler never followed, at least, not completely. Jess and I hid inside an abandoned school near the edge of town. That's where we finally watched Tyler's camera footage. and I wish we hadn't. The final recording began in the church basement. Apparently Tyler had kept filming after we ran. The footage shook violently. We heard him breathing, crying. Then the camera focused on the basement door. It was open, completely open. Below it was a staircase descending into darkness, and from somewhere far beneath the church, voices echoed upward. Thousands of voices, all whispering the same phrase, "Come home." Tyler kept descending, against every survival instinct. The deeper he went, the stranger the walls became. They weren't dirt anymore. They looked organic, wet, pulsing. Then Tyler found the tunnel, a massive underground cavern beneath Hollow Creek. The walls were covered in missing person photographs, hundreds of them, some dating back decades, others recent, and standing throughout the cavern were people, motionless, facing the walls, exactly like the body cam footage. Tyler whispered, "Oh my God." One of the figures slowly turned around. It was a little girl, except her face looked melted. She smiled. Then every single figure in the cavern turned toward Tyler at once. The footage became chaos, people screaming, running footsteps. Then Tyler pointed the camera upward and finally captured the thing responsible. I still see it in nightmares. It hung from the ceiling like a massive spider. Its body stretched across the cavern walls. Human faces bulged beneath its skin. Hundreds of them, still moving, still screaming. And at the center of the creature was a giant mouth, smiling. Tyler screamed. The creature dropped from the ceiling, and the footage ended. Jess shut off the camera immediately. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Then we heard knocking. From inside the school. Not outside. Inside. 3 slow knocks echoed down the hallway. Knock, knock, knock. Jess grabbed my arm. "There's no way in here." Then we heard Tyler's voice. "Guys," I froze. "Help me." Jess started crying because it sounded exactly like him. Then the voice changed. "Please." Dragging footsteps approached the classroom, slowly, followed by wet breathing, and then scratching. Something outside the door was carving into the wood. I looked through the classroom window and saw Tyler standing in the hallway, except he was twisted. His limbs bent backward, his neck cracked sideways unnaturally, and he was smiling, too wide. Then all the lights in the school turned on, revealing dozens of people standing throughout the hallways, watching us, motionless, waiting. Jess and I escaped through the school gym and stole another vehicle. At that point, we didn't care where we went. We just needed out. The roads twisted endlessly through fog, but eventually, we saw highway signs, civilization. We both started crying from relief. Then the radio turned on by itself. Static, followed by a familiar voice. The sheriff from the tapes. "If you're hearing this, he already knows you." Jess slammed the radio off. That's when we saw the sign. Hollow Creek. Population 311. We had somehow driven back into town. Again. Jess completely broke down. "This place won't let us leave." And honestly, she was right. Then we noticed something horrifying. The town looked different, newer. Lights glowed inside homes. People walked the sidewalks. Children played in front yards. The town was alive, Tyler whispered from the back seat. "See? I told you we should have stayed," Jess screamed. Because Tyler was sitting behind us, smiling. His body looked normal again, almost, except his eyes were completely black. I nearly crashed the truck. Tyler calmly leaned forward. "You don't understand what Hollow Creek is." Jess sobbed. "What happened to you?" Tyler smiled wider. "It remembers people." Then every person in town slowly stopped moving, all at the same exact time, and turned toward our truck, watching us. Tyler whispered, "It doesn't like being forgotten." The townspeople began walking toward us, slowly, perfectly synchronized. Thousands of footsteps echoed through the streets. I slammed the accelerator. People hit the sides of the truck, but they didn't scream, didn't react. They just kept smiling. Then Tyler grabbed the steering wheel. The truck flipped. Glass exploded everywhere. When I woke up, I was alone. Jess was gone, and the town looked abandoned again. Silent, dead, except for the knocking, coming from every direction. I found Jess near the old water tower at the edge of town. At least, I think it was Jess. She stood in the fog with her back toward me, perfectly still. I called her name. Slowly she turned. Her face looked normal, but her expression was empty, like someone pretending to be human. Then she asked, "Do you remember dying here?" My stomach dropped. "What?" Jess pointed toward the water tower, and suddenly I remembered. Not imagined, remembered. Fragments, another life, another night. A car accident on this same road years earlier. A little boy surviving in the woods, hearing knocking, following voices, then darkness. I staggered backward. Jess smiled. "You came back." The fog around us shifted, and suddenly the entire town appeared. Not abandoned anymore, occupied. Every missing person, every resident, every victim, standing silently in the streets, watching. Then the ground beneath Hollow Creek began moving, breathing, like the entire town itself was alive. Buildings twisted, roads pulsed, and from beneath the earth, that massive, smiling creature slowly emerged. Human faces writhed beneath its skin, including Tyler, including Jess, and including me. The thing opened its mouth, and every voice spoke at once. "Welcome home." I ran. I don't remember how I escaped. I only remember waking up beside a highway miles away, alone. The police never found Hollow Creek. According to maps, the town doesn't exist. Tyler and Jess were both declared missing. Everyone assumed I killed them. Maybe part of me did, but sometimes, late at night, I still receive emails. No subject line, no sender, only one sentence. "You left before the knocking stopped." And every single night at exactly 2:13 a.m., someone knocks on my apartment door. 3 slow taps. Knock, knock, knock. I never answer. But last week, I finally looked through the peephole, and standing in the hallway was me, smiling. If you made it this far, let me ask you something. What would you have done in Hollow Creek? And more importantly, would you answer the knocking? If you enjoyed tonight's story, subscribe for more terrifying horror narrations every week. And remember, if someone familiar calls your name from the dark, make sure it's really them before you answer, because some voices don't belong to the living anymore.